Welcome to band9. In this lesson, I'll walk you through an ielts writing task 1 question with 2 line graphs and show you how to build a band9 response step by step. Here is the task. The first graph shows the number of train passengers from 2000 to 2009. The second compares the percentage of trains running on time with a target. We must summarize the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Let's read the first graph carefully. Passenger numbers rise and fall from year to year, but the overall direction is upward. They start at about 37 billion, dip in 2003, then climb to a clear peak of roughly 48 billion in 2005 before easing down and recovering to close near 44 billion. The second graph tracks punctuality against a target of about 95%. Performance begins below the target, rises above it around 2004, then falls to a low near 92% in 2006 before surging to about 97% at the end of the period. Before writing, I brainstorm the key features. For the passenger graph, I note the upward overall trend, the fluctuations, and the peak in 2005. For punctuality, I note that it moves around the target, hits a low in 2006, and finishes strongly above target. These become my overview. My plan has 4 paragraphs. An introduction that paraphrases the question, an overview with the 2 biggest features and no data. Then 2 body paragraphs, one for each graph, where the specific figures go. The first line graph illustrates the number of rail passengers in billions in a particular country between 2000 and 2009, while the second compares the percentage of trains that ran on time against a fixed target across the same 10-year period. Overall, passenger numbers rose over the decade as a whole despite marked fluctuations from year to year, peaking around the middle of the period. Punctuality, meanwhile, hovered close to the target, falling short of it for several of the middle years before ending the decade comfortably above it. In 2000, approximately 37 billion journeys were made by train. This figure climbed to a first high of around 43 billion in 2002, only to fall back to its original level a year later. Numbers then recovered strongly, reaching a peak of roughly 48 billion in 2005, the highest point on the graph. Thereafter, passengers declined gradually to about 40 billion in 2008 before rising once more to close at approximately 44 billion in 2009. Turning to reliability, punctuality started well below the 95% target at around 92% in 2000, but improved steadily to exceed it in 2004, when about 96% of trains were on time. Performance then dropped sharply to a low of roughly 92% in 2006. The most dramatic improvement came at the very end of the period. Punctuality surged to approximately 97% in both 2008 and 2009, well above the target. Why does this reach band9? Task achievement is complete, with a clear overview and accurate data. Coherence is strong, with logical paragraphing and cohesive linking. The vocabulary is varied and precise, and the grammar mixes complex structures accurately. One honest note, band9 here reflects our own assessment against the public ielts descriptors, not a certified examiner score. That's how to turn 2-line graphs into a band9 answer. If this helps, subscribe to band9 for more ielts writing lessons. See you in the next one.